I was living in New York City, and I was heading to a fabulous party in the Lower East Side. My taxi got stuck in traffic a couple of blocks away from the party that I was going to. And I glanced out the window, and there was this homeless woman rooting through the trash. And to most people passing by, she just looked like a homeless woman. But when I really stared at her, I realized it was my mother. The emotion that seized me at that moment was not one of compassion or love. It was one of fear, because I was afraid that Mom would look up and would see me and would call out my name, and somebody who was going to the same party that I was going to would hear her. And my secret would be out, the fact that while I was living on Park Avenue and writing about celebrities, my mother was living on the streets. A couple of days later, I got together with my mother and I said, "Mom, what on earth am I supposed to tell people when they ask me about you?" And she looked at me as though I just asked her a completely silly question, and she said, "Tell them the truth." To me, that seemed almost impossible. How could I ever explain to people why my mother, who's an intelligent, resourceful woman, was living on the streets, but moreover, what kind of monster am I that I would let her live like that while I was living in luxury? I was completely convinced that once my story was known, I was going to lose all my friends, I was going to lose my job, and I was going to lose whatever little near standing I'd carved out for myself in this world. I'm happy to say I have never been so wrong about anything in my life.
This is one thing I wanted to say from New York. Jeannette was real sweet. She took me up and we got all my paintings out of a storage I had up where I had kept them. This painting was the house directly across from my apartment at 6th Street. I mean at 8th Street when I lived in New York. A friend of mine gave me the flowers, so naturally I had to take a picture of them, right? And this is one I had in a nightmare. That's, I had nightmare. These flowers I found in the garbage. I was walking down the street and sure enough there's these beautiful lilacs. So I got them out of the garbage and I painted a picture of them. And so as I say, almost all of them have a history. My husband's in the corner.
When I was growing up, I lived in, we lived in cars, we lived in shacks, I slept in a cardboard box, we lived wherever we could. But Dad said all of this running around was just temporary. One of these days he was going to build us a great big mansion out in the desert, solar heated, and he called it the Glass Castle. And alcoholism and a few other things got in the way, and the Glass Castle was never built. My very, very favorite memory from my childhood is when I was 5 years old and we didn't have any money for Christmas presents, and my father took each of his children out into the desert night, and he let us choose for a Christmas present whatever star in the sky we wanted. And I chose Venus, and Dad had to explain to me it wasn't a star, it was just a planet, and the reason it was so much brighter was it was closer. I wanted anyway. Dad said, "What the heck, it's Christmas, you want a planet, you got a planet," and he gave it to me. You could look at the Glass Castle as another one of my father's drunken promises, or as hope for the future. It is whatever you choose to make of it.